guess we'll shout out computerworld.com. This is an article about Meta puts the dead internet theory into practice. Have you guys heard about the dead internet theory?
I have not.
Okay, well, it kind of breaks it down right here. It's a belief that most online content traffic and user interactions are generated by AI and bots rather than humans, as a business plan instead of a toxic trend to be opposed. If we think back to like the Wild West days of the internet, when it was, just so random, and the graphic design was way off, and it was, Windows based stuff, and it was so exciting, right? And you didn't know what you were going to find. You'd click on a link, and it really felt like you were exploring something. I mean, there's some really crazy websites back in the day that would get talked into visiting, on a library computer, rotten.com, things like that nature. 4chan, kind of popularized all this craziness, right? And it kind of put it all in one place, and then we still have elements of that on the dark web, right? But as things became a little bit more corporatized, standardized, things evolved, I think this theory has really taken hold, because compared to what we grew up experiencing with the 56K modem, it does feel very sterile and corporate these days. And we all know that there's censorship going on, and depending on where you are, that can take effect. So I think that's what's really been the driver of this kind of a theory. And then, things like this, Mark Zuckerberg, he never said no to a bad idea. It seems he's putting some of this into practice here by adding AI bots to, I haven't come across this, but apparently adding AI bots to Facebook interactions or any Meta type interactions to try to drive engagement. The article says the company plans to host billions of fake AI powered users. And it's being rejected by real users. No surprise there. Don't follow Meta's bad example. Obviously, we have a little bit of a bias here, but it goes on to say Meta's mission statement is to build the future of human connection and technology that makes it possible. But what it's really putting time and energy into is some of these projects, like the fake celebrity project. This is not something I was aware of once again, but let me know if you've seen this. In September 2023, Meta launched an AI chatbot featuring celebrity likenesses, including Kendall Jenner, Mr. Beast, Snoop Dogg, and some others. So yeah, by no surprise of me, this was rejected by users. No one wants to talk to fake Snoop. And we've seen fake influencer. So have you guys run across this at all? I had a call, I guess, with a support. I can't remember the company. It was just a couple weeks ago, but it's escaping me, where I had a support call with a bot, and it actually went really, really well. And I actually preferred it over the typical customer service experience, because I didn't have to wait, for the line to open up. And the bot was fairly adept at answering my questions, and kind of got to the bottom of it a lot quicker than I would have traditionally. So
Amazon, I had a package shipped, said it was delivered. I'm looking around, nobody delivered on my porch, checked my mailbox, and it said it was put in my mailbox. Now we have mailboxes that are locked. So it's like nobody stole it out of my mailbox. So clearly either they put it in the wrong one, and somebody else has it. So I waited for a few days just to see if it'd show up, asked around on Facebook or whatever. Hey, any neighbors, did you see something show up for me that from, Amazon, whatever, and never heard back. So I waited for a few days. And so then I reached out to Amazon and went to their customer support, and it was an AI bot. Pretty much, hey, what can we help with? And the conversation was just so fast and quick. And the thing that amazed me, though, I wanted to do a replacement, but I was like, well, it just hasn't come yet. What do you want to guide me to do? Because I don't want to be, I'm not trying to steal, say it didn't show up and here it's sitting on my front porch. It didn't show up. How should we take care of this? And it's like, you know what? No worries, Matt, we'll take care of it. We got another one out to you, whatever, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's amazing. That AI, they had already programmed it and had appropriate methods built in to even remediate the problem for me. Not kind of triage, a self-help. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? And then, we hit my limits. Let me pass you on to a human to figure out what is the best scenario. They had already pre-programmed it based on certain context that it could take an action for me. It did the refund, or not refund, but it sent out a new one and everything. And I was, and to Josh's point, the interaction was amazing.
Very easy to talk to someone like that. I think that is kind of why I brought this article up. So I think customer service is a great use for AI. It's not probably a job that people really enjoy. I know they take a lot of heat. There's people on the customer call centers. It's probably a high stress job. But the dark side of things, we've had the lowest birth rate in ever. And we have people that are more isolated than ever. And my concern, and maybe it's yours as well, that people really lean into this and be even more isolated and really stop interacting with other people, because the bar of entry is just so low. You don't have to leave your bed, let alone your house, or go to a social situation and be uncomfortable, right? You can just kind of stay in your pajamas and get all the socialization you need.
You put on your Apple Vision Pros, and all of a sudden the four walls that you're around, you can be anywhere you want. Yeah.
I mean, it sounded like that's something we wanted, back in the day. Once getting back into the 90s, that sounded like an awesome future. But I think the closer we get to it, the more it seems dystopian to me. I don't know. What's your guys' take on that? I mean, we have guys that are having, AI girlfriends. We have that's really taking off in popularity. I worry about how that's going to affect our kids and things like that, and even ourselves.
Yeah, it's, there's, I think technology, there's goods to the technology and there's bads to the technology. You look at the internet and there's a lot of dark side to it and there's a lot of good that's come out of it. And, I just hope that it's, and pray that it's the same thing with some of this too, that there's other more positives that come out of it. But I have the same kind of dystopian, mindset too. Skynet, oh man, the AI is going to take over kind of thing. Not that it's to the point of where it's worrisome, but it starts to pop into the back of your head and you're like, are we getting there? That's kind of weird. But then at the same time too, it's like, look at the internet, the amount of information, the knowledge sharing, things, technology, and there's a lot of goods that have also come out of it too. So it's I guess time will tell, but I look at this, what you're talking about almost sounds like Ready Player One. Throw the Google or the Apple eyes, whatever, the Vision on, and
sure.
There you go. And the world is burning around you, but it's real cozy in this virtual space, though. I do. I do want to. This is new to mankind. This is a very new territory that we're starting to treading. For thousands of years, humankind has always interacted in person, communities, fellowship. And so we're definitely treading in new areas, and there's definitely new studies coming out. And this is why, we see now social media getting banned for certain kids at a certain age, because look at the findings that are coming out of it. So sometimes technology moves so fast and we didn't think about, should we have done it? It's kind of I think there's a Jurassic Park quote where they talk about, it was there. We stamped it. We put, we did it, we fit it, and then we just let it do its thing, versus should we have asked ourselves first, should we have gone down this route? And sometimes, you follow the quick buck. Sometimes the technology leads us to the quick buck and we didn't think twice.
Yeah, we were so busy thinking whether we could, we just didn't stop to think we should.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I don't know.
Inversely, though, I could see this solving the loneliness problem for senior citizens, for example. I don't know if the jury will be out for a while on whether that's a healthy way to get interaction with human or human type interaction. But, if you go on to read the article, you can really see that people are really pushing back against this in certain contexts, especially social media, and the art world has gone crazy about all the, images being generated and people saying that's not real art. And it's a valid argument, but it is changing so fast. We're going to have to try to stay ahead of it. But Eric, I know you're a big adopter of AI, and you've been even doing some education around that to stay on top of things. Where do you see this going, or what's piqued your interest lately?
Well, I saw a real example of this quite recently as we were working on a redesign for a website. And as part of that process, working with an SEO firm, and the SEO firm makes suggestions on things that you can do technology-wise within the website in order to get higher search engine rankings, right? And the search engine rankings are all calculated through bots and through automation. It's not humans that are ranking these things, but it's spiders and other technology that's crawling websites. So we're essentially using technology to create technology that is then viewed and scored by other technology. So that the article was very poignant in that there are bots already out there talking to bots. And it was like, as we went through it, the exercise of the website redesign and everything, it was just a moment that I had for pause of, wow, now we've got to spend cycles thinking about how we get automation to train other automation on where the site should come out from a ranking perspective.
For people interacting with AI, especially when it comes into the context of phishing, vishing, all that squishing, all the ishings.
What's squishing?
Isn't that one? Or is that quishing?
There's quishing and then there's smishing.
This should be squishing. I'm going to use that one for Foursquare, whatever that old Tumblr. So here we go. Be skeptical of perfect content. I think Matt was alluding to that when he was reading his text. It was just like a little too squeaky clean, very corporatized. I think we can develop a sense of what is AI and what's not AI. And I think, to your point, Eric, just immersing yourself in the technology is another tip that I got here in my research of how to identify what AI content is, right? If you're not using it and you're not seeing results from your own interactivity, it's a lot harder to get develop a nose for what type of content that AI is generating. But thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have a moment, leave us a comment on a YouTube channel or give us a review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps others find the show. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.